Alright, you lot, strap yourselves in, because we've got another round of brutal honesty, no-nonsense takes and questions that actually make me think for once. This is where I take your questions, throw in some Yorkshire charm and try to give you a straight answer. We are talk sugarcoating and corporate waffle. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. I know, it's annoying, but it helps the channel grow. And let's be honest, you lot are already here, so may as well make yourself useful. Right, enough of that, let's crack on. Right, before we dive into your questions and whatever else you lot have thrown me way this week, let me start by saying cheers for your patience while I sort myself out. Now, I know I don't yap about my health conditions, and that's for one very simple reason. I'm not here for your sympathy. You're here for entertainment. A bit of a rant, maybe, just maybe, to learn a thing or two. Now, with that said, I do keep you in loop if my health is going to mess with content schedule. And well, that's exactly what's happened. One of my doctors, who actually knows what they're talking about, unlike some muppets in my comments section, has advised me to cut back on my workload. And yeah, my clients are grumbling about it, but tough, they'll live. My health comes first, as many of you are wisely pointed out before, so here's the deal. I'm never going to be 100% again. I'm apparently cashing in on family inheritance, something I've spent my life trying to avoid. I've done really well so far. There's going to be times I'll be required to go see specialists and crap, which means reducing things further. That's why I'm trimming fat on my video schedule. No more weekend uploads. From now on, we're keeping it to Monday through Friday. And as for Scotty, that's shifting over to Wednesdays. So don't panic, it's not going anywhere. Let's face it, I enjoy making it as much as you enjoy being part of it. I decided on making this video today, which is a bit of a push. Then I'm taking rest at week to get myself balanced and set out this new schedule. Somewhat to make sure that any future issues or appointments won't interfere with videos too much, if at all. Now, I can already hear twonks in back row sniggering like school kids, whispering, "Just stop uploading altogether." Well, let me stop you right there. Jog on. If you don't like it, there's door. Make sure it hits your eye-don't way out. Or, if you really insist on sharing your crybaby brainless opinions in comments, feel free. Might even give you honour of being publicly roasted in a future video. No guarantees, though. Some of you are so brain-meltingly stupid I physically can't be arsed dealing with you. Speaking of, last time I got knocked out on my arse, someone actually had nerve to tell me I were ill cause I eat meat. I mean, seriously, mate. This is kind of nonsense that makes me question how some of you function in daily life. Now, I've got 3 doctors. Actual professional, not some keyboard warrior who watched a Netflix documentary once telling me I need more fresh meat in my diet. Why? Because my body needs more essential nutrients. Not that I'm lacking in them per se, but they'll help with my condition. Let's break this down for slow ones at back. Vitamin B12, absolutely critical for red blood cell production, nerve function, and energy level. If you don't get enough, you're going to feel like a sack of shite. Then there's vitamin D, 2 types, D2 from plants and D3 from animal foods. Guess which one our bodies absorb better? Yeah, D3. Helps with bone health, immune function, and, you know, not being deficient in UK's permanently grey weather. Between October and March, we don't get enough sunlight for proper vitamin D production. So unless you plan on licking a UV lamp, you might want to reconsider your stance on animal products. Then we've got DHA, an omega-3 fatty acid crucial for brain function. Lack of it has been linked to cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, cancer, depression, you name it. And where do we get DHA? Oh, that's right, meat, especially fish. Which, by the way, I bloody love. Kippers, mackerel, tuna straight out the can. Hell, give me a plate of cockles and mussels and I'm happy. Now here's a fun observation. Have you ever noticed how many vegans seem to suffer from chronic depression? Now, I'm not saying it's just the diet, but let's connect dots, shall we? When you're missing key nutrients that regulate brain function, of course you're going to feel miserable. And let's talk protein. 2 types, complete and incomplete. Complete proteins contain all 9 essential amino acids. Guess where you find those? Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy. Incomplete proteins? That's your nuts, seeds, grains and vegetables. Missing essential amino acids, meaning if you rely solely on those, you're basically giving your body an incomplete toolkit to function properly. Now, I've got 3 different doctors telling me 3 completely different things about my condition, but there's one thing they all agree on. I need to focus on getting these essential nutrients, and that's good enough for me. And let's not forget absolute peak wisdom from Pink Floyd.
If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any connection.
Say what you want, but Tony is quoting that banger front wall genuinely made my day. And it's true.
How can you make pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Now to vegans out there, do what you want with your bodies. Honestly, crack on. But don't come here preaching your moral superiority, because I could not give a single toss. And to absolute genius who once asked me, would you slaughter your dog or cat and eat it? Let me put it this way. If I was starving and only thing standing between me and death were a dog, cat, rabbit, rat, or even a bloody pigeon, that thing's going into stew pot. That's nature. That's survival. That's reality. We're predators by design. Omnivores. We eat meat because it's how we evolved. We control animal population, just like war controls human population. Because let's face it, there's too much peace these days, and the world's getting overcrowded. We're living longer, and that's a problem in itself. Hence why diseases exist. Nature's way of keeping balance. And before you start with all saving planet speech, whether you stop eating meat, go net zero, or quit using plastic straws, nature don't care. It's still gonna melt ice caps, throw radiation our way, and do what it bloody well pleases. It's happened before, it'll happen again, because that's natural order of things. So yeah, take your preachy holier-than-thou nonsense and shove it up your ass. I live my life based on logic and instinct, not virtue signalling fairy tale. My doctors told me I need more meat, and I'm going to listen to them, because unlike some of you, I actually want to get better. Right then, on to your questions before I start throwing things. Starting with our southern pal DroneNet on X, who asks, have you found a game to call home yet? I'm still playing XD and have tried others like Finals, etc, etc. Splitgate 2 looks good. What are your thoughts on this? A game? Nah mate, I'm settling on all games. Well, at least ones I actually play. Whether it's regular go-to or something I try out just to see what all fuss is about. I'm not tying this channel down to one game or genre. Not happening. There's plenty to talk about, plenty to rant about, and honestly, gameplay itself don't really matter. Now sure there'll be some twonks forming at mouth about that statement, but Scotty, surely you need a main game. And to them I say, I don't care. I'm not here for you. I'm here for people who actually enjoy my brand of content. Not for those crying into the sweaty, worn-out controller grips. As for Splitgate 2, yeah, I'll be jumping in once it actually releases. Played beta last year, loved it, and I can tell you now, it's definitely getting the spot in my rotation. More on that when time comes. There's another game coming soon too, but I can't say too much about it right now. You know how it is. Secrets, NDAs, people in suits who'd rather keep things hush-hush. I'll say more when I can. But what about you lot? Have you settled into one game or are you still bouncing around? Still hooked on X-Defiant? Any upcoming games that have caught your eye? Drop a comment below. Let's get a discussion going and see what's worth keeping an eye on. Right, next up, we got proper question from SilverBullet903021. Hey Scotty, what's worst reboot or a classic TV show that you used to watch and you feel that it's better left alone? Mate, this is one of those questions where I could go on for hours. Because let's be honest, Hollywood's been murdering classic shows for years. Let's start with Ironside. Now, all due respect to Blair Underwood, man's a great actor, but his version of Ironside were absolute shite. Completely missed mark of what made the original great. Raymond Burr wore Ironside. Character of presence, intelligence, and authority. Reboot just turned it into another generic cop drama we all lead. It had zero identity. And speaking of Raymond Burr, let's talk about Perry Mason. Matthew Rhys as Perry Mason. Get the fuck out of here. Original were iconic because it had class, mystery, and a gripping legal drama at its core. Reboot? A gritty, slow-paced mess that completely missed the spirit of what Perry Mason was supposed to be. Not every classic needs to be turned into a dark, edgy crime drama, Hollywood. Now let's go further into all the shame TV reboots. Knight Rider, prime example of a show that should have been left alone. Original had Azeloth, charm, and Kit actually had personality. Reboot? Bland, forgettable. Turning Kit into a Ford Mustang were a crime against franchise. MacGyver? Yeah, no. Original were quirky, full of ridiculous but fun problem solving. Reboot? Another boring action drama that lost all its identity. And honestly, if they just called it Young MacGyver, which were actually a solid idea with that Jared Padalecki pilot episode, it might have worked. Randall and Hopkirk deceased. They tried this in early 2000s, and it was pure garbage. Original were charming, unique, and had this weird supernatural detective vibe. Remake? Soulless rehash that tried hard to be edgy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How many times are they going to screw this up? Michael Bay monstrosities turned them into horrific CGI nightmares. But more recent animated attempts have been all over the place. Rise of TMNT were awful, Splinter were a joke, animation style were jarring, and storytelling were a mess. Dad's Army movie? Just why? Original were a masterpiece of British comedy, full of sharp wit, great characters, and the timeless jokes. Remake? Dull, lifeless, and completely unnecessary. DuckTales? Alright, this one's controversial because I know some people liked it, but let's be honest, never really captured same magic as original. Animation style were off, tone felt different, it just didn't hit same way. Charmed, Charlie's Angels, Bionic Woman, Bel Air, Beauty and Beast, absolute dumpster fires, all of them. They either missed point at originals, or they modernised them into something completely unrecognisable. I could go on forever about TV and movies, and honestly, I've been thinking about starting another channel dedicated to this stuff. Same no-nonsense takes, same brutal honesty, but focused on movies and TV shows. Reboots, remakes, reviews, Hollywood disasters, unpopular opinions, lot. So here's my question. Would you be interested in a channel like that? Obviously uploads won't be as frequent, possibly 3 videos a week to fit around this channel, but trust me, I've got a lot of thoughts on this industry that I'd love to get off my chest. Drop a comment, let me know, along with your picks for worst TV reboots of all time. Let's see what everyone else thinks. Right then, next one comes from Top Lemonade who asks, how much money have you spent on entire COD franchise? I've done math and it'd be enough for me to pay my parents for how much they've ever spent on me when I was growing up. Also, my 23rd birthday is in 26 minutes at time of commenting. Feels like I've been alive longer than 23 years with how 2020 to 2025 have been, to be honest. Anyway, hope you and everyone else are having a good day. First off, happy birthday, mate. Hope you enjoyed it and didn't spend it getting finessed by microtransactions. Now, when I sat down and actually did maths on how much I willingly thrown at Activision, I nearly choked. I've spent roughly 1,500 to 2,000 quid on Call of Duty over years. That's every title from original in 2003 up to Cold War 2020. And let's not forget map packs, because back in there those were a separate purchase, some of which I even bought on multiple platforms. Zombies Chronicles? Own that bad boy on Xbox and PlayStation, and PC. So yeah, up until they doubled down on the manipulation, I'd spend a little. But here's where it gets interesting. See, COD don't just sell you a game anymore. It shoves item store and battle pass in your face every chance it gets. Every damn menu, every loading screen. Just buy. One of the main reasons I refuse to play anymore. That plus absolute stranglehold of their SBMM and EOMM. Because why should you be allowed to just play and enjoy yourself when you can algorithmically dictate your experience instead? Now take Fortnite. It has SBMM, but it doesn't choke life out at game. It doesn't have EOMM manipulating your gameplay. And yeah, there's usual formal element, of course there is. But they don't shove item store, battle pass, or Fortnite crew down your throat on every single screen. And yet, since Fortnite Battle Royale launched back in 2017, I've easily spent over 5,000 quid on game. Bought items, got Safe World Founders Edition, subscribed to Crew Pack. Why? Cause I wanna. Cause they don't make me feel forced into it. Are you listening, Activision? Your manipulative tactics don't work as well as you think they do. Like Sven Vinke said, make a great game, revenue will follow. And he's bloody right. I can sit back, relax, play Fortnite and buy things when I choose to. Not because I'm being smacked over the head with an advertising mallet. COD, on the other hand, I don't find it relaxing. I don't find it fun. So despite the constant desperate attempts to sell me crap, I don't want to buy out because it's simply not worth it. A 20 quid cosmetic that'll be useless in a few months? Nah, mate. Not happening. Modern Warfare 2019, don't play it. Cold War, don't play it. Futuristic bollocks? No chance. World War II? Couldn't pay me to touch it now. And let's be real, most of the older COD titles aren't even safe to play anymore. You think Black Ops 6 has a hacking problem? Try booting up Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 2 2009. But in Fortnite, I can still play Safe World whenever I want. I can log in and play a map, come across sweats or cheaters, and it don't bother me. I can still rock Black Knight skin I grinded for in Chapter 1 Season 2. I can still use every single cosmetic I've ever purchased. Unlike COD, where you might as well be setting your money on fire every few months. And yeah, I'm still subscribed to Fortnite Crew. Not because I have to, or because I feel forced to, because I want to. And to be honest, at 10 quid a month for what you get these days, it's a bargain compared to absolute theft going on in COD store. I mean, I missed out on Himiko Toga last time she were in, but no stress, she'll be back, because they always come back. Meanwhile, COD, Same IW engine since 2019. Few slight modifications every year for each game, and same overpriced cosmetics. And here's kicker. That Terminator bundle dropping in new event, yeah, that same bundle from Vanguard, but it's scam. They're being forced to buy it again. Let that sink in. This is why people are leaving Black Ops 6, or just not bothering with it. When I said it's just Modern Warfare with a Black Ops paint job, I wasn't wrong. COD has become only Modern Warfare, whether you like it or not. And best part, people still defending it are not but mindless drones being led around by Activision's manipulation leash. And they're too stupid to realise it. So yeah, you got me started now, mate. But what about everyone else? What's your biggest gaming spend? What's one game you've sunk most money into? And do you feel like you've got your money's worth? Drop a comment. Let's see where we've all thrown our cash most. Alright, next up we've got a cracking question from Anime Gaming 4057. Here's a question to pepper your anger steak. What type of world do you think is vastly unexplored? This might be a question you can't answer, as people usually don't know what they want unless they've experienced it in some way. So for me, it's a world of too human, cyberpunk world where God exists. I just had such fond memories of that game. Or something like a post-apocalyptic world with superheroes, where heroes are forced to kill and betray what they used to stand for when society existed. Nah, this is right up my alley, because there's so many incredible concepts that either never got the fair shot or were left half-baked. For me, I'd love something like Ulysses 31. Now, for those of you who never heard of it, first off, shame on you, but let me educate. Ulysses 31 were a classic anime inspired by Homer's Odyssey, but instead of ancient Greece, they blasted Odysseus and Greek mythology into the 31st century. Imagine all grandeur and wonder of Greek myths, but in outer space. Gods, heroes, epic quests, but with futuristic tech and interstellar adventure. It only ran for 26 episodes, and yeah, I've got full collection, cause of course I do. But let's be honest, they barely scratched the surface of what they could have done with that universe. Imagine taking that concept even further, building a cinematic universe where Greek gods aren't just myths but real intergalactic beings, and stories of Hercules, Artemis, and Achilles are played out in a cosmic scale. Hell, picture Kratos from God of War thrown into high-tech sci-fi setting, hunting down gods not with blades and brute force but with advanced weaponry and cybernetic enhancement. That's a world I want to see. And honestly, it makes sense. My love for ancient myths and legends is probably why I loved Stargate so much, and why Battlestar Galactica hit top rate notes for me. There's something about taking old mythology and giving it a sci-fi twist that works beautifully. So now I'll turn it over to you lot. What's a world concept you think is criminally underexplored? Cyberpunk gods? Superheroes in a post-apocalyptic wasteland? Ancient myths turned futuristic sci-fi? Drop your ideas in comments, because I guarantee there's some absolute gems out there that aren't even been given a proper due. Right, next up, we've got a question from Firkin-L1. This one's a bit of a thinker. You win a competition for 1 million quid, but with conditions. You can only have a quarter amount, and rest has to be split into 3 categories with equal shares. Charity, family, stranger. Who would you give money to? Well, this is an easy one for me. For charity, I'd go with Mind. Absolute brilliant organisation that helps people struggling with mental health issues. They do incredible work, and where our mental health is often swept under the rug, more people need the support now than ever. For family, that's going straight to my son. Yeah, I've got 2, but one living with me has done so much for me over the years, especially recently when my house taking an 8. Kid deserves it. And knowing him, he'd give half to his brother anyway, because he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's not greedy. He knows how to handle money right. As for stranger, well, I'd make someone's bloody day. I'd hop on Twitch, scroll through a few streamers, low views, maybe someone just starting out, and jump into the chat, see how they interact, suss out the future plan. And after a few interactions, I'd pick one I like most and drop a donation their way. Not better than a genuine support for someone chasing the dream. So yeah, cheers for the question, mate. Now it's your turn. Same question to you, and everyone else watching. Drop your answers in comments. I'm especially interested in hearing which charities you'd pick. Alright, next up, we've got a question from R&R Guitar Man. Hey Scotty, what's worst thing Disney did to Star Wars? Easy answer, TV shows. Apart from Mandalorian, which actually got some things right. Rest should never have been done. Now, we're sort of okay-ish with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not great, but I didn't feel overwhelming urge to gouge my eyes out while watching it. So that's a plus. As for Skeleton Crew, I still haven't gotten round to it, but given Disney's track record, I'm keeping my expectations lower than Twi'lek's neckline in Jabba's palace. But let's get real unpopular opinion here. I actually liked movies. Yeah, I know. Cute outrage, lighting torches, get pitchforks out. But Scotty, they ruined Luke. They butchered Law. Sequels are garbage. Look, sue me. I enjoyed them. Were they perfect? Nah. Did they have massive problems? Absolutely. But did I still have fun watching them? Yep. Only Star Wars film that didn't do much for me were Rogue One. Just felt a bit meh. Visually stunning, sure, but it didn't really grab me. Now here's the thing. I go into stuff with zero expectation. I forget source material, forget canon, and just take story for what it is. That's how I enjoy things. But even then, story still needs to have a grip, something to keep me interested. And let's be honest, a lot of what Disney puts out lacks that grip. Put it this way, if you can sit through some fan-made Star Wars films out there, trust me, you can sit throughout. Some of those things make Disney's worst attempts look like Oscar-winning masterpieces. Anyway, cheers for the question, mate. Now it's your turn. What do you think is the worst thing Disney did to Star Wars? Drop it down in comments. Let's see what general consensus is. Next up, we got a fun one from Ages444. How crazy a football fan are you? UK are a special kind of fan, and probably a Geek Glasgow special. Here's a fun answer. I have zero interest in sport. Zilch, zip, nada, none. Now, back when I were a kid, I tried to care, mostly just to wind up my stepdad, who were a Leeds United fan, so naturally I kept an eye on teams that played against Leeds. You know, just for banter. When my hometown of Barnsley actually made it into Premiership, I got swept along for a ride. I were even at match on home turf when Barnsley kicked Manchester United's ass. And here's a fun bit of trivia. I actually caught ball when Ryan Giggs launched it too far over at goalpost. Not exactly a claim to fame, but hey, it happened. And if that wasn't enough, I'm actually one of extras in Crowder when Saturday comes, standing there while Sean Bean scores winning goal. Yep, there I am lost in sea of faces. That's a story for another time, probably for that TV and movie channel I'm thinking about. But despite all those rare football-related moments, never got into sport. In fact, only time I'll even bother attempting to watch it is when England's in finals at Euro or World Cup. And even then, I'm not getting excited. I'm not screaming at telly, not throwing my pint in air. I'm usually just messing about on my phone, probably playing a game instead. So yeah, if you're looking for football passion, mate, you're barking up wrong tree. Now let's turn this around. How big a football fan are you lot? Who do you support? And what's craziest football-related memory? Drop it in comments. I'll have a read, even if I probably won't know what half of you're talking about. Right, up next, we got a question from our regular mate, Pyro Friendly Arsonist 9195. Hey Scotty, got any new games to keep an eye on? For me, it's Ninja Gaiden 4. Mate, I never expected Ninja Gaiden 4 to actually be a thing, but here we are. Wow. It looks brutal, fast-paced, and exactly what you'd expect from Ryu Hayabusa's school of slicing people into tiny, unrecognisable chunks. And with it being a day one Game Pass title, yeah, you can bet I'll be giving it a go. Now let's talk about big uns. Going into 2025, Splitgate 2 was sitting right at top of my watch list. I loved beta last year, and considering how tight and fluid original was, I were absolutely ready for more. But then Xbox Developer Showcase dropped. And, well, me hype got hijacked. Because Doom Dark Ages just took throne. That showcase blew me away. Medieval, heavy metal aesthetic, brutality and sheer insanity of Doom mixed with old school warfare. It's like someone took a medieval black metal album cover and made it playable. And let's be honest, if there's one thing id Software knows how to do, delivering pure unfiltered carnage. So yeah, I'm all for it. Now another game I'm keeping a close eye on, Gears of War E-Day. Sure, we don't have a release date yet, but when it finally does arrive, it's going to get an insanely warm welcome. Return to horror roots, gritty, chaotic warzone setting, fact that we're going back to Marcus's early days, this is exactly what franchise needed. Gears has always been one of the series that, when done right, delivers some at best third-person action out there. So yeah, definitely watching that one like all. Then there's Wildcard, games that aren't as mainstream but still have me intrigued. Stuff like Atomfall, that's survival action set 5 years after wind-scale nuclear disaster in northern England. Sonic Wings Reunion. No, not all to do with Sonic Hedgehog, but instead a sequel to a proper arcade shooter in true meaning of word. Killing Floor 3, proper zombie shooter that's just as much fun as COD Zombies, and in some ways, more fun. So yeah, 2025 shaping up to be a banger of a year for gaming. Thanks for the question, mate. Now same to the rest of you lot. What new games are you keeping an eye on? Any hidden gems that should be on my radar? Drop a comment below. Let's get a discussion going. Right, that's a wrap for this one. But if you're not done yet, why not join Discord? Get involved in chats, Share your thoughts, and who knows, you might even survive a roast or two. Follow me over on X for latest updates, gaming techs, and occasional rant about why industry's going to hell. And if you really want to support the channel, check out channel memberships. All links are in the description. Now you know what drill. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave your comments and questions below. Might just feature them in a future video. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.